So good morning again, everyone, and welcome to this session about the Volunteers Engagement Program. During this short session, I will talk about the Volunteers Engagement Program. What is it? Why do we need it? How does it work? The partnership we have with Pecan, the first results, and what are the next steps. And at the end of the presentation, there is an invitation to all of you to come and join us in this program, but we will talk about that later. So let's start with a quote. Volunteers do not necessarily have the time, they have just the heart. So it's not about time, free time to give to a project, but it's about wanting to be part of something. So mainly being like Joomla, a community-driven project, means that we should take care of our volunteers and we should ensure they have a productive and healthy, safe place where to contribute, like a community that is healthy. When volunteers work together, they can accomplish a lot of things, and we saw that in the days before, during the days before this conference, and we will see it again today in the Joomla in Action sessions. And when people can work together easily, they can grant a long-term success and stability to this project. So the main purpose of the Volunteers Engagement Program is to grant a pleasant experience and a welcoming place to our community members. You know, one of the biggest challenges in our community, and all of us, we can know and experience this situation in the past and in during our contribution period in Joomla, is that we have people that come, arrive, start volunteering, and then leave or disappear sometimes. So let's say that for a volunteer that comes, we have someone else that is stepping down, disappearing, or taking a rest, maybe temporary, hopefully. So we need to ensure, and I see some faces in this room that I know they had a problem with that. We need to ensure a proper onboarding and offboarding procedures and the knowledge transfer to the old members to the new members, otherwise they cannot contribute in a proper way. We experience this problem, this priority, a lot of times in our community. And obviously, if we want to be a project that grows, if we want to have a growing Joomla, we need obviously a growing number of people to make Joomla as a project, as a CMS, but also as community, because it's not just about coders, testers, it's about community functions and roles that we have. We have marketing, we have engagement program, we have certification, we have, yes, testers, coders, and all that stuff. So we need a lot of volunteers, motivated and long-term contributors. I know that sometimes it's not easy to start volunteering. You may feel not so welcomed or accepted in the first instances, because being a worldwide community means that we have a lot of cultures, a lot of languages, a lot of barriers and behaviors across across all the countries we cover with our community. So we need to collect all this diversity and make the community a welcoming place for the newcomers and also for the people who stay longer with us. And how many times as contributors you feel that your opinion does not matter? A lot of times it can happen. It depends maybe on the teams or the departments or what you do in your contribution. And one of the pain points of our community is communication. We need to ensure that people are heard, that communication matters and opinions are considered. So this is another priority we should highlight in our community. And another pain point is recognition. Sometimes our long-standing contributors feel that their contributions are not so appreciated or recognized. So to keep people focused, motivated, we should give them recognition. We should say thank you for your awesome job with this feature or with this program or with this something. Because it's important to keep them happy and proud of doing something for the community. So even if can happen, we also need to find the reasons why people leave the project. It's just a lack of time? Do all the leavers leave the project because they don't have time to contribute to Joomla? Or is there anything else that we can do to keep them with us? So one of the other priorities that we should keep in mind always is to keep our volunteers over the years. So we can summarize these points, these items, in a short list of priorities. They are just some of them. They are not a complete list of priorities we have to address, but we need to motivate people and give them recognition. We need to increase the communication across all the departments, break all the silos, create interconnection between departments and teams and work together towards a goal. We need to keep our community, all community members there, and we need to get more people as long-term contributors, and we need to make these new contributors feel like at home, feel like in a place where they are appreciated, they are welcomed, and they can express their opinion, their comments, their concerns also, without any big issue. So to address and to take care of all these priorities, the Volunteers Engagement Program identified 3 R's. So recognition, retention, and recruitment. The first R is recognition. So recognize the efforts of our long and short-term contributors and volunteers and ensure they feel, not just they are, but they feel appreciated. Because one can feel appreciated even if you don't say thank you for this. This is awesome. That's not the only way to make people feel recognized. The second R is retention, and it's deeply linked with the first R, because if people are happy, we can keep them. It's like with sponsors. If a sponsor is happy, he or she will continue to sponsor us. So that's the same concept. If a volunteer is happy, he feel like at home, he feel welcomed and heard, he can continue to contribute to our project. And currently, the volunteers engagement program is concentrating its efforts to the first two R's, so recognition and retention. Then we will work on the recruitment part, and we will include in this part also the volunteers portal team, because they already publish some open jobs we have in the community, open roles. So we will find some ways to get more people in our project. And events like the JWC or J and Beyond or the Joomla Days are the perfect events where people can meet the community, create links between people and start doing stuff, like in Joomla in action this afternoon. So how does it work? What we could do to make it work? First of all, we need to know the status of our community, because if people think that there is no too much communication, we need to receive their feedbacks, their comments, their opinions and feelings. So we started collecting on a regular basis all feedbacks and community and comments from our community members. So all these evaluations and comments are useful to detect and address every potential issue, because they are in a structured way and they can be analyzed easily. That's why we made a partnership with a UK company that is Pecan, that is specialized in creating engagement platform and services. So we created a set of questions that are used in feedback surveys, and I know that many of you received an email from Pecan yesterday morning. So all the questions are organized and divided within segments and drivers. So we have relevant, measurable feedback from our community. It's not just having a list of comments, but it's about analyzing different aspects. And these drivers to categorize questions are this I show in this slide. So accomplishment, reward, growth, meaningful work, management support, goal setting, autonomy, organizational fit, freedom of opinions, peer relationship, environment, strategy, recognition, workload, and much more. And again, for some of them, we have also some sub-drivers like learning, equipment, and flexibility that is part of the workload. And the easiest way to collect feedback to our volunteers base is to integrate with the volunteers portal, the service with the volunteers portal. That's why we implemented an opt-out mechanism to allow our community member to choose whether they don't want to participate or to stay in this program. And all active volunteers every 2 weeks receive a nice email from Pecan with 7 questions based on such drivers I showed you a few minutes ago, and all these surveys result and comments and points, votes, are 100% anonymous. So you have to feel free to state your comments, your opinions, your concerns, no matter what they are. You can share your opinion freely. For each question, you should provide an answer with a score from 0 to 10 to provide, and you can also provide an open-ended comment after giving the score, so you can explain why you feel that way. So let's say, for example, there is a question, I know what is expected of me and what are my responsibilities in my volunteer role. You have to give a score from 0 to 10, and eventually, that's optional, you can provide also a comment. Another question, sample question is, I find it easy to volunteer in an online environment. Again, 0 to 10 and eventual comment, optional. So all these scores across drivers are collected and are used automatically by this platform to create and calculate this engagement score. And this is a metric useful to assess the status of the community. So with this value that is 7.8 at that time, when I prepared the presentation, we can know where we are with the engagement and the status of health of our community. So there is a dashboard that is not open that shows to leadership where we are and what we are doing good and in what we are failing. We know also the participation rate. So during the past 3 months, we had 62% of participation. That's not so bad. I mean, it's more than half. We can have more, but most of people don't know what these emails from beacons are. So we need to explain them why they should fill these surveys. So our dashboard displays also the strengths and the priorities and also highlighted segments. So the part of the community where we are performing better. So as you can see in the screen, one of our priorities is communication, and the other one is equipment, but we are adjusting it because you can see a small arrow going up. And then we have also flexibility as priority. In the other end, on the other side of the presentation, we can see also the strengths. So accomplishment and reward and learning. These are our strengths according to our volunteers. That's not something as leadership we decide. Our volunteers provided this feedback, and analyzing them highlighted these results. Here we can see also some other strengths, but in segments. So we know the teams or the part of our community that are happier than the others, and they are showcase directory team and certification team and users group team. So these teams are happy at this moment. I see Wilco that is not agreeing too much, but these are results, official results. And the part that is more happy than the other in terms of length of period of contribution is 1 to 2 years. So our volunteers that started volunteering, let's say more than 1 and less than 2 years ago, they are our strength currently. So I give you another quote. Volunteer. Start where you are, use what you have, and do what you can. That's this sentence explain for a community that are a lot of aspects like our, that no matter what you can do or what are your competencies, you can bring them and start doing something. Even if you are not a coder, I told it before, you can contribute in different aspects. And this sentence explains this. So what are our next steps? We need obviously to create new questions, to collect feedbacks on more aspects, and in the next rounds we will involve also team leaders of different teams to make them share some questions they want to ask to their teams. We need to deeply analyze the results, not just seeing strengths, priorities and the numbers, but going into details and see what we can do better, what are the open comments people shared with us. And we want also to create dashboards in Pecan to share them with the department coordinators and also prepare some dashboard at the team level so we can start working on real issues, real potential issues. We want to create new initiatives to recognize our volunteers. We want to create new strategies to recruit new people, and we want to do much more. But to do it, we need people. So if you have any interesting idea to share with the Volunteers Engagement Program and team, and if you want to be part of this team that take care of our volunteers, taking care also of the 3 aspects, so recognition, retention, and recruitment, you are more than welcome to get in touch with the Volunteers Engagement team, with Yves, with me, and any other member of the Volunteers Engagement team, and join us, share your ideas, and let's make it happen. This is your time. Questions? If you have a question, please go to the microphone and please. What is the time for lunch?
Is that the first question? What is the time for lunch? My name's Brian Mitchell. I'm the head of the Joomla Resources Directory, and it's more of a statement to the broader group. My first engagement as a volunteer was 4 years ago at the Joomla World Conference in Boston, and it was the last session. All weekend I had been listening for how do I get involved. There's this thing called the community. I'd love to be more connected with an ongoing conversation. So one of the things I'm encouraged about is, in addition to the engagement surveys, the incredible work that the Volunteers Portal team has done. This is more of a statement and an encouragement than a question. But I think a lot of times there's an assumption of I have to be a super hardcore developer or coder or whatever. And and whether it's talking to you directly. So for instance, we recently went to the Joomla Day Chicago, and I was sort of doing the same pitch to a talk that I did there. And I just said, you know what our team would really benefit from is somebody who would just come to the meeting, take minutes, and post them to the portal. and it's been a huge help. We had a volunteer come forward to do that in the last couple of months, and we're communicating more effectively as a team because of it. So anybody in the room, and we have this perception, I think, that there's a group of volunteers and a group of users, and I think those two circles should overlap completely. So I strong encouragement to anybody here, everybody at the conference, find something. I mean, it's incredible free software. Find something to do to contribute, and it can be a very modest, small
amount of time.
But for my team, 2 hours a month has completely changed our universe. So that's my encouragement to the team. I'm sorry, it's not a question.
Thank you for sharing this your situation. I mean, it's important because, as I said before, we don't need just coders, developers, and testers. They are more than welcome, obviously, because we are a CMS project mainly. But we have a lot of aspects and things to do in the community, like marketing, like I told already, certification, showcases. We have administrative work to do to run the community. It's not just code. It is, but we have a lot of different things to do.
And the added benefit is whatever enjoyment you're getting from meeting people and building relationships here, that gets to continue if you're part of the volunteering. So,
yeah, you can get new friends.
So yeah, I just wanted to pile up on what he said. Like right now, to get involved in volunteering with Joomla, it's really very easy. I mean, because I'm a part of the Joomla extensions directory support team, and I got into it by literally just asking on the Facebook Joomla group, who do I contact to get to the JED support, because I want to give something back to the community. And just Jazz, the leader of JED, just contacted me. Okay, let's talk. I've been doing that for
it's easy. We don't
half a year.
You don't have to send us your CV. You don't have to have a job interview to start contributing. So
yeah.
Maybe we can ask you, what do you do in life, just to know you more. But it's not a real job interview. You can start contributing with very low amount of hours per week, per month. It depends. It's up to you. And you can choose the section or the aspects you want to contribute and start doing it. And please, this afternoon, there will be Joomla in action sessions. This is mainly for people who are not really already involved, but please find a group and do things, collaborate, help people accomplishing something. We have a lot of teams. We have resource directory, we have showcases, we have extensions directory, certification program, volunteers engagement program. We have a lot of teams. The magazine, sure. Marketing, obviously. So please find your beloved group and start doing stuff for Joomla. Thank you.